Today's guest is a very good friend of mine. She's also a best-selling author. She's the creator of Soulful Yoga. She's been featured in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, Essence Magazine, ABC Network, and so many other media outlets. She's here today to talk to us about her new book, From Bitter to Better: A Chocolate Woman's Journey to Self-Discovery. It's selling out on Amazon right now. Karen Taylor Bass, you are what's hot today. Yes, and let's start out first by saying that, Karen, it's been a journey. It really has been.
Amen.
I remember 30 years ago
Jesus.
meeting you.
God dang. Why you got to start like that?
Because as to where you have come now. But anyway, yeah, so when you look back at that journey when I met you years ago, you were a young, budding PR with a bright, shining light that you continue to have today. I was working on a media story and you were trying to assist me in that area. And it has just been a lasting friendship. And I have seen you grown by leaps and bounds. So when you look back at all that you've been through to now being on some of the most top major networks, ABC and Sirius XM and Janet Shield Scott podcast.
Absolutely.
But when you look back and reflect, what goes through your mind?
That's a great question. First of all, thank you for having me. It's such an honor. It really is the best honor to have it with a friend, but how we started. And so when you say, when I look back and reflect, I just think about life being a journey. I always think about not being too high, being too low. But I've learned in those 30 years to not be afraid to pivot, to not be afraid to do something different, but most importantly, to not be afraid to listen to my heart, my soul.
Yeah. Why did you decide, and now you have a book. Matter of fact, this is your third book.
My fourth, but who's counting?
Fourth book, okay. Excuse me? Excuse me? Your fourth book here, which is just, it's fascinating. From Bitter to Better: A Chocolate Mama's Journey to Discovery. What made you decide to write this book?
Sure. So this book, this debut novella, this baby literally started out in 2019, Janet. I was writing different stories. Like you said, I've done books before, but they're how-to books. And I knew that I had more. I wanted to do a novel, but I wanted to do a short novel. So the novella, because I know people don't have the bandwidth to sit and read a lot. So I wanted to write something that would entice, seduce people to continue to read, maybe at night, maybe in the morning, but to understand that, especially as women, as we get older, when you become 40, but I like to say being close to 60 now, 50 plus, the market forgets about you. Commercials, so many things forget about you. When they do remember you, you're on Depends, you got a tweezer plucking. It's like it's never anything really profiled or amplified. So this novella is about sisterhood and that journey of embracing social connection as life may take you to the throes of being bitter, but your sisters bring you up to feeling better. And I know that post-pandemic, we are all in search of better, wellness, peace, love, but not feeling isolated. And so writing it in 2019, I had a composite of folks, sisters, women that I had met throughout my life, my bandwidth. You may see you in here, Janet, so many different textures of us. But as we get older, we want to feel a part of something. And that is the Chocolate Mama Club. It's not about being a mother. It's about being that hot mama, but you happen to be chocolate. And when you gather with your girls, they get you. You may not have spoken for years, but that conversation, you start back to when you first met. And that is what this is. This is just hope. This is also a true reflection and mirror, knowing that you are not alone. And that's the response I've gotten from women and readers. Oh my goodness, I see myself. I, I felt like I was in my head. I felt like I was alone. I'm so happy that I am not. Yes, this happened to me at 50. I am divorced. I had to start over. I'm an empty nester. So I wanted to tell a story of resilience and sisterhood, but I wanted to tell a story from a place that I now understand. Hope.
Yeah, well, you do it very well. Well, you have 5 women that you write about in this book, and that have their own personal journeys, but they're not all chocolate mamas.
Yeah, that well, life doesn't all give you chocolate. Sometimes you have vanilla, sometimes you have a mocha latte, but sometimes you may actually have a oatmeal. We're all different shades and hues, but wherever we are, we'll always have a mama that doesn't look like us, but trying to get down with the get down. So we have her here too.
All right, so in other words, anyone can join, or any woman can join Chocolate Mamas.
Yeah, in the novella, the chocolate mamas are all selected, but you may know a great mama that happens to not be Black, and you say, you know what, I could vouch for her. Let's bring her in. So that is the beauty of it. Another part of the book is it's the first of 7 installments. You get to meet, each woman will have her own novella. So where the book leaves off, the next mama will enter and you'll learn more about that character. So you get the backstory of how they all came together, but why this group is so important.
Where are you in the book?
Oh, girl, I'm all over the place. I am sprinkled everywhere. I could, except for the white mama. But I can relate to everyone because I have been through pretty much all those things, pretty much, not everything. But that's the beauty of it. You find yourself a hodgepodge of a composite, a tapestry of all these things. And in life, that's what happens, right? You're a little bit of this, you're a little bit of that, but you're more of this. And so I'm sprinkled throughout the book, but you have to read it to let me know who do you think I am. But I'm in there. And don't you dare say.
Okay, and then I noticed that you mentioned that one's a Trump supporter. Why was that important?
Because geographically, I think wherever you are and whatever ethnicity or cultural background you have, we are not monolithic. We all do not think or act the same. Even amongst us as chocolate mamas, you will have someone who has a different opinion. And in my circle, I have a few Trumpsters. So the ideology of being Black means you're going to vote one way or think one way. It's so not true. We are different. So we do have a Trumpster in the book, and she is a proud Trumpster. And I know that person, but I know many proud Trumpsters. And no matter what you say, reproductive rights, or they stand by their man, their person. So I think it was important for me to highlight that even though they may not agree politically, when they get together, the genesis of who they are as women, as sisters, they connect on that level. And it's okay to agree to disagree.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love that because I think that's so important because what would the world be like if we all thought alike and talked alike?
Exactly, exactly. So you get to meet them here and you get to say, oh my goodness, I love everything about her, but this, or I like this. And, so that's the beauty of seeing these different women and how they arrive onto the scene and what they have in common.
Right. And you talk about self-discovery. So what if someone just can't seem to get past their childhood or their bitterness that they have in life, maybe from an abusive marriage or something? What would be
Yeah.
your advice to those people?
Yeah, and all I have is advice. I'm not a licensed clinician or anything, so I need to put it out there.
Right.
But I can tell you that, as a person, and I know all of us have had to deal with some level of trauma in our lives. What trauma does is it holds you hostage. And if you don't work on it, it just begins to envelop more and fester in your body. So, to those listening, if you're going through something or have been going through something, please get a circle of people that you trust. And the word is trust, that you can talk to about what you're going through, go to a licensed clinician, a therapist, to get out of your head. Half the times we're in our head, so you want to get out of your head. The next thing I will always say that's helped me a lot, in addition to having a therapist, is movement. I do believe that movement is healing, stillness is movement. You have to tap into your thoughts. Why do I feel this way? When did this happen? When did this enter my body? What does it feel like? Like, know yourself like nobody's business, because you don't want somebody telling you about your body. You should be able to articulate that. So know yourself, move, journal. If it's not about having money, there you could journal, you can take a walk, you can walk your dog. You don't, people think that you have to have money to take care of self-care. No, self-care is just that, flipping it, caring for yourself. So why do I feel this way? Ask people, ask your mom, ask your dad, like, did this happen to you? Because a lot of times I've learned that trauma is generational, in the sense that different things happen to our parents and they don't mean to, but they do pass it on to us by their behavior, how they react, how they respond. And as children, we pick that up. So it's our job to turn off that noise, that chatter, and see how are we amplifying this, or how can we turn this noise down in our head? So like I said, I'm not a licensed clinician, but I know what has worked for me is therapy, yoga, meditation. But honestly, being able to look at the person looking back at me at the mirror, myself, and be honest with myself and say, girl, stop, get out your head. Why are you going through this? What has happened before? Have you seen this appear? How did you handle it? Like, start to have that inner dialogue with yourself so you can start to shut that door on all those noise. And then, you know what? Just do. I think half the time we stay trapped in our heads because we're so afraid and fearful of the other side. The other side is the matrix. It's your joy. It's you feeling better. It's you being able to go up and down the steps. It's, when people say you can't do something, make it your business to do it. So
Yeah.
that's how I deal with trauma. Like, okay, are you counting me out? Okay, it's good. Thank you for that. Here's how I pivot.
And then you just go home and de-stress and unwind and do
You
some
have
of the
to,
things
but
that you
hopefully your home is a place where you can do that, right? I find that as you get older, as in my book, you begin to have a smaller circle. You begin to have less friends, less sisters, but those who are with you on the joy ride have always been there, right? You don't want transactional relationship. So you begin to look at who is around me, what do they bring, how do we make each other better? And if they're not edifying you, if they're not lifting you, especially at a certain age, we need to cut them. We need to cut them, because sometimes misery loves company. And if you're trying to do something, take care of your health, and somebody's like, oh my God, I'm gonna have this ice cream, maybe they're not gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can have the ice cream on a different day, but not when you're on a plan. So look at who's around you. Are they your cheerleaders or are they your vampires? And that's something that I had to do. Not everybody was for Karen, and that's okay. But Karen's got to be with Karen, and Karen's got to find people who are with her so that she can also support them, and vice versa. And sometimes we get so afraid of cutting people off, we stay with people who don't really mean us well.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
That's that journey, right? Bitter to better. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, very well said. Beautiful. So when and where can we see you on speaking engagements, or how do we get you to come and conduct some workshops in the different parts of the country?
So that's a wonderful question. So please go to my website, KarenTaylorBass.com. You'll see where I am. I am on a limited book tour right now. So right now I think I'm doing 4 cities, but if you want me in your city, let's make it happen. And also I'm going to start in the month of September some virtual book chats where if you've read it, come on, we talk about it, we dissect it, we share. So, sometimes I would love to be in a different market, but life be life in. So, but you know what? We have this great thing called technology. Let's use it for our good. So please feel free to reach out to me and say, hey, Kay, I got the book. I got 10, 5, 20, 50, 100, 1,000 people who want to see you on Zoom or whatever, right? Because I got to think big. I can't be thinking 5. Like, seriously?
That's a great thing that came out of COVID was Zoom.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
because we can be everywhere. I remember when you and I were trying to start a show and we were trying to connect and there was no Zoom.
I know, man, we would have been like the podcast of podcasts at this point because we were doing this before.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. And I mean, it was a doozy. People were, yes, yes,
Yes.
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 What's
All
happening
right.
with Janet and Karen?
That's right. But right now it's Karen Taylor Bass, From Bitter to Better, a chocolate woman's journey to self-discovery. And
Yes.
this is where we want to go on to Karen Taylor Bass's website and let's buy this book. She's already a top seller on Amazon, which is one
Yes.
platform to buy it on. What other platforms?
Amazon is the mother of all platforms, and then cousin Barnes and Noble is right next to her. So, that is where, unless we come out, then you buy it from me or whatever. But Amazon, Barnes and Noble, we write books as an author. I'm an author. We write books literally to change the dialogue, and we write books to change the narrative and give people hope, inspiration. And that's what I hope the Chocolate Mamas book series will do for others, knowing that you're not alone. So pick it up. If you have, there's a journal, there are color pages for affirmations for whatever you're going through, meditation.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you said that.
There's yoga flows in
Yeah.
there for you.
Yeah, I have your cards here.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, okay, so before we close it out, 3 things I am calling into my life today. That's one.
Yes. So that was the card I pulled today. It's so fun you pulled that card. And mine was abundance. It was no, it was abundance, but abundance not in money. It was like health, abundance and health. Then I had love. And then the last one I had was peace of mind. So those were the 3 things that I was calling into my life today.
Wonderful. Now, 3 things from childhood you are letting go.
Child, I need 5, but
Me and you both. All right, so let's stick with the 3 for now.
I think I've done a lot of that though. I've really worked on that. It's been a journey, but I've worked on that for the past 20 years. So I definitely would think that I have a better relationship with my mother now. That was really important to me. So yes, that is one of the things. The second thing, repairing relationships that perhaps were misunderstood. And then the next one, releasing from childhood, is understanding that it really wasn't my fault. Like, I had nothing to do with that. That wasn't my issue, and I took your issue and made it mine. So releasing grown stuff that I had nothing to do with.
Right, yeah. And then the last one, I guess this is more about being.
Must be rapid fire, but go ahead. What is the last one?
Yeah, this one's just about being grateful, thanking the divine spirit.
I love that one. Like, being centered. The grace of God to get up every morning. There are 5 things I say to myself every morning, no matter what. The first is I thank God for another day. So I give grace and gratitude. Thank you for waking me up this morning. The second thing is I embrace impermanence. And all that means is what I don't control, I just don't control. So I got to let it go. The third thing is I give myself some self-compassion, so I'm able to give it to others. The fourth thing I give to myself is wisdom, understanding that wisdom is more than book smart. It's also life learned lessons, right? So if I've done it before and it made sense, do it. If it's not making sense, let it go. The fifth thing is the most important thing to me, peace. Peace. I give myself peace. I am at peace and I surrender. It doesn't mean that these things happen in my life effortlessly. I have to work at it, but I know that if I train my brain for the last one, peace, I begin to see my body open up and my shoulders drop. So maybe I start my morning like this. By 10:30, I'm like, peace. Peace starts.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan though.
But
yeah.
You do the best you can.
Yeah, give us your social handles.
Oh, simple. My name, Karen, Karen, Taylor, Taylor, and Bass, Bass, at Karen Taylor Bass on Instagram, and also Soulful Yoga with Karen on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm on TikTok, y'all. Learning
Yes, and you know what? And then everyone should go online and purchase. This is your cards come in here. I kind of left it wrapped. I pulled this
Yes,
out, but I think this is so cute. Your presentation that you
thank
have.
you.
I am so proud of you on all that you have accomplished. And then you can just open this up here. The camera bit. Yeah, and then there you have. I was waiting to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say log on, get those cards and get the book.
Yes, get the book, get the cards, dialogue, see how it makes you feel. Everything I put out is authentic. I put it out because I've explored, I know what works for me. And I feel like if it works for me at 57, it's going to work for you. This
Yeah.
isn't something that I'm just like putting out there. No, I am not only the teacher, I am the CEO, and I am the recipient of everything that I do. I pour back into myself because that's what we have to do, pour back into
Yes. Yeah.
ourselves.
And then you have your yoga too, where people can schedule for that.
I do, I do. I'm so happy to say I have like a booming, and that's thank the power be for yoga business where I'm just yoga,
Soulful yoga.
yoga.
Mhm.
It's that's what it is. It's like yoga. I'm a advanced yoga teacher with 500 hours, but soulful yoga means yoga from the diaspora. So if you've ever taken my class or would like to take my class, what you can anticipate is yoga from Asia, from the West Indies, the Caribbean, Africa, and then also a sprinkle of European. Notice I say a sprinkle because I do realize like the architect of yoga is really feeling and tapping into the soul. And that's what I do in my classes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much,
Well,
Miss
thank you.
David Bass. I think we've done enough promoting for you.
We can always do more, but I'll take that.
No, I love it because you are such a beautiful person, and it's wonderful to be able to share and shine your bright light on everyone out there. So
Thank you, Miss Jenny.
thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for joining us on Janet Shield Scott podcast because you are what's hot today, tomorrow, and the rest of the year.
365 of what?
I know that's right.
Chocolate.